SWTOR is back with its newest expansion, Knights of the Eternal Throne. Oh boy. Alright, so I know you all are probably expecting me to rip this to shreds because of the, let's call them, highly criticized decisions the devs have made in terms of gear progression. But hold your horses! First, let's talk about the good stuff. Because despite all the hate, Knights of the Eternal Throne, which I'm going to call KOTET, does at least one thing very right. Story. I've always said SWTOR does story right, and nothing has really changed there. I think KOTET is some of the strongest storytelling SWTOR has ever done. It's engaging, funny, sad, and all of those other emotions I'm told normal humans feel. Also, your choices in the game actually change things. My wife and I made very different choices in our respective playthroughs, and while the end was basically the same, the way it all goes down was completely different. Best of all, it finally wraps up all of the loose ends we've had over the past year of content. Now, I'm not going to do any spoilers this time because this is SWTOR's best freaking asset, but let's just say I'm very happy with the way it all turned out and enjoyed every second of it, even if it is a rip of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Seriously, did anyone else notice this? An evil dad emperor, a scarred son vying for daddy's approval, and a crazy as daughter who shoots lightning. If you're gonna rip something, might as well rip something good. Now, many people have criticized the new expansion for its lack of normal MMO elements, namely a distinct lack of new in-game content. There's uprisings, but those don't really count. However, I'm keen on seeing what I believe to be the bigger picture here. With all of the new interest in Star Wars due to the new movies, BioWare saw a new market. People who weren't necessarily MMO players, but still wanted to take part in a Star Wars story. So they said, the MMO part. Let's just concentrate on story to try to capitalize on these new players. And I feel they somewhat succeeded. Combined, Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne feel like a saga, and that is what Star Wars is all about. Now, would I have liked some new in-game content as well? Yes, but I'm an MMO player. Also, I've been told that this is going to be the concentration for the devs in 2017. I'll believe it when I see it, but it's a nice sentiment. There are some other new things in KOTET, such as the new Dark vs. Light system. Continuing the, I'll assume popular, event from the past few months, the entire server is now engaged in a battle of dark versus light. It's complicated. You will pick which side you want your character to represent. Doing quest, or basically anything, will help decide which side wins. Should your side win, you then have an hour to gain a command experience level or kill a special boss that spawns. Doing this will give you a token that you can use to buy cool stuff. Your character's actual dark side or light side alignment, based on the decisions you make in the game, also plays a factor, but as I said, it's complicated and I really don't feel like getting into it, so moving on. Next are uprisings, which are fast-paced dungeons. They're not much of anything really, but hey, they're here. And they also provide a decent amount of command experience. I can hear you now. What is this command experience you keep talking about? Well, command experience is the new gear progression system. After you hit level 70, as you kill higher level enemies, complete heroic missions, story missions, do flashpoints, operations, and uprisings, you'll gain command experience. Once you level up, you'll be granted a command crate. I can hear you now. What's a command crate? Well, you know those random loot crates in most MMO cash shops that everyone claims to hate yet inexplicably seems to buy anyway? It's that! Except for gear! Open it up and see what you get! You'll always get a piece of armor, but you could potentially get an awesome piece of endgame gear. Or not. Isn't it great? Please put the pitchforks down, at least until I'm done. In theory, this should have been a welcomed change. First off, people seem to buy loot boxes like crazy. You all love that stuff. And second, probably more importantly, casual players who don't do in-game content can still get higher level gear by doing the content they like to do, such as heroics or flashpoints or replaying the story, really whatever, albeit at a much slower pace than someone who runs operations. As for the hardcore crowd, instead of running operations for a chance at a boss dropping a token for a piece of armor they need, which then they're still going to have to fight the rest of their raid party to actually obtain, will instead get a large chunk of experience toward a command crate, which has a chance to drop a piece of armor that they want. And if you happen to get something you don't want or need, just disintegrate it for some extra XP toward that next crate, which of course has a chance to give you what you want. For casual players, the system seems to work and provides them a good benefit. Play the way you want, potentially get in-game gear. Naturally, the hardcores are pissed off. Then again, they're always kind of angry, so it's hard to tell. Anyway, who wants an RNG-based gear system, am I right? This is stupid. RNG sucks. Except we already had RNG. This is simply just a different form. For about as long as I can remember, raid and dungeon bosses have almost always had RNG-based loot tables. If you wanted a particular piece of gear, you were forced to run the same content over and over and over and over in hopes you got it. And usually this comes with either a day or week of waiting in between runs. Of course, people got tired of this, so a lot of MMOs introduced a token system, which was still based on RNG for the most part. Long story short, the gear grind has been and almost always will be RNG based. Unless crafted gear is suddenly your main source of in-game gear. And when that happens, you better believe that in-game crafting materials are going to be RNG based, or the quality will be RNG based, or something will be RNG based. Really, the main issue I'm seeing here is that the whole thing is in the form of a crate. People just have this hatred of randomized crates lately, yet everyone seems to love Loot Crate. That's weird. Now, this doesn't mean I'm a fan of RNG. I hate it as much as the next person. SWTOR has simply made it so players can run whatever content they want and still get potential rewards for doing so. Think about it. You can run any operation, flashpoint, or whatever and get a chance at getting the piece of gear you want. Of course, this is just me, and I'm not exactly a hardcore player, so feel free to tell me how wrong I am in the comments below. I will continue not caring. So, do I think you should play SWTOR Knights of the Eternal Throne? The story is worth it, so at the very least, play that. My other suggestion would be not to concentrate on the command experience system right now if gearing is your main goal. Wait until it's tweaked a bit. I think it has potential, it's just not quite ready yet. Just give it some time and keep bitching on the forums, it's what they're there for. Hey everyone, I hope you liked the video. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for future videos. I've also put another video for you to watch right up here. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook, and you could donate to me on Patreon like these other amazing people. I can only hope my Loot Crate contains one of them. Even if it's just a chance, you're worth it.